Welcome to the Chicago Auto Show. I am going to walk you through all the electric cars that they have to offer here. So let's go check them out. We have a 2024 Lucid Air. With the addition of a new high-performance Sapphire trim for 2024, the Sapphire produces 1,234 horsepower. So you do have 4 trim levels. You have the pure rear-wheel drive, Touring all-wheel drive, Grand Touring all-wheel drive, and the Sapphire all-wheel drive. 2 drivetrains are offered, a single electric motor with 112 kilowatt-hour battery pack with 430 horsepower, and dual electric motor setup with 92 kilowatt-hour battery pack that produces 620 horsepower, 1,050 horsepower, or 1,234 horsepower in various trims. Driving range is 280 to 516 miles. Pricing starts at $79,000, goes all the way up to $250,000.
There are some interesting little characteristics.
How much space there is here in the back. There's the trunk. It's pretty deep. Does have a pass-through. You see how flat and level that is. That's crazy. We'll come around here and we'll get a glimpse of the interior. Got that dual screen in there. Looks really nice. And it has the screen going down the center console right there. Okay, there is your Lucid. If you are considering a Lucid, try to find one soon. Sapphire, I believe, is the $250,000 one, so you might be able to find a used one on the market for around 50 to 60. But pretty nice car. I think with something that we really do like and can't wait to drive one. Okay, up next is the 2024 Nissan Ariya. It remains unchanged for 2024 because it was a new model in 2023. Does have 5 trims available: Engage, Venture Plus, Evolve Plus, Empower Plus, and Premier. You get 2 battery sizes, a 63 kilowatt hour battery rated at 238 horsepower, and an 87 kilowatt hour battery which is rated at 389 horsepower. Range is going to vary from 265 miles to 304 miles depending on the configuration and battery size. Front wheel drive is standard, with all wheel drive being optional. Pricing starts at $45,000 and goes up to $57,000. So, got dual screens in this one also. Cool thing that we like is that the buttons are actually integrated into this wood trim piece, and they are haptic feedback. They light up when the lights are on. And of course, you've got your controls right there, same way, it's integrated into that. I really like this, and the seats are really nice, look really, really comfortable. This is good. You got Alcantara on the doors. This is all Alcantara up here, up top. Take a look at the back. Look at those seats. Decent amount of space. Seats are really nice with the stitching. Here in the rear, you do have heated seats in the back, USB-A and USB-C. There's another picture of the front. Look at the back. And there you go. Looks like it's got about the same amount of space as the ID4, but it's good. Underneath here, you just have tire kits. There is a little bit of storage right there, maybe for a charging cable. But that's basically it. So if you're looking for another 300-mile range EV crossover and you're a Nissan fan, this might be the one that you want. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we've got the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV. These are coming out right at this moment. You get 4 trims: the LT all-wheel drive, the RS all-wheel drive, RS rear-wheel drive, and the SS. The one that we are looking at right now is an RS. Power ranges from 288 horsepower to 577 horsepower, depending on the trim. And driving range of 279 miles up to 324 miles. You should be able to charge this at about 190 kilowatts, and you should get about 78 miles in 10 minutes. Price is going to range from $57,000 to $66,000. This does have the red RS trim on the inside with all the stitching. With that same dual screen, it's in the Silverado, and the turbine vents, which are really awesome. Not sure how you guys feel about the red. This red is not too overpowering. Kind of like it. Rear seat area, decent amount of room. Go in so you can kind of see that front a little bit better, how that's laid out. We really do like this car. We had a reservation on this one, but we chose not to get it, mostly because it was going to take forever to get here, and they're not letting this rear does not open right now. So if you're looking for a 300 mile plus SUV, this one might be the one you want. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we got the 2025 Volkswagen Buzz. It is all new for 2024 as a 2025 model. One trim will be offered at launch, and it will be called the Buzz, though more will follow in the future. An 86 kilowatt hour battery that can power 1 or 2 electric motors depending on the trim. 282 horsepower for rear-wheel drive, 330 for all-wheel drive. Range is estimated at about 260 miles. Rear-wheel drive is standard. All-wheel drive will be optional. Pricing is supposed to start around $40,000. This is really nice. I like the way that they do the contrasting colors. You got a little bit of wood up here. Nice, simple design. Sit up high in here, just in the back. There's the seats flipped up so you can get into that third row back there. This one will seat 7 because it has the bench seat. You can get it with captain's chairs, and that will take you down to a 6-seater. Not a lot of space in this thing. You have trays on the back of the seats that fold down like an airplane tray. You can go around to the back. This is an optional platform. Then when you lay the back seats down, it will make a complete flat loading floor. All right, come around to the side. It is a little bit bigger than what we expected. We thought this was going to be a little bit smaller, which the European one that came out first is a smaller wheelbase. This one has a larger wheelbase with a larger battery in it. But that's it. That's your 2025 Volkswagen Buzz. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we do have the Tesla Cybertruck here. Everybody's checking it out. Got to make sure they get pictures of everything. The lighting on the back, that's pretty nice. That big screen. A big screen. Not a big fan of that steering wheel. Big open spaces down in here. It looks really nice. Well, there's the Tesla Cybertruck. All right, next up we got the 2024 GMC Hummer Earth Cruiser. It's all new for 2024. It's serving as the Motorhome Outfitters' first electric pickup offering. Carbon fiber shell provides enough space for 2 passengers to sleep on board. First class accommodations feature a rooftop solar power, a kitchen, an outdoor shower, 5 gallons of fresh water capacity, and 7 gallons of gray water capacity. There's also a full-size bed with dimmable lighting. This vehicle is heavily modified for off-road use also, and for camping in the wilderness. So there you go. That is quite amazing. Not sure who would need this or who would use this, but my gosh, this thing is a monster. The Hummer EV is already a beast, and this thing makes it even bigger. Completely crazy. Check out the inside. Your dash on the inside there. 2 big screens, big center console. Wow, massive. And I don't know, you can't see anything up from the inside on this. Here's the back seats. Plenty of room in this thing. And of course, there's nothing to see up above us, which is kind of why it's so dark in here. There's full controls for the back. And I'm gonna slide you guys up, see if there's anything to see up in here. Not sure that there will be, but possibly. Go around this way, shine this up in here. I probably can't see anything from the plastic. So, oh, there you go. Here's your Hummer Earth Cruiser. Okay, maybe we'll go check out one that's a little bit more reasonable. Next up is the all-new 2024 Chevy Equinox. You got 4 trim levels available. You got an LT, 2LT, 3LT, 2RS, and a 3RS. 2 drivetrains are available. A single motor variant that produces 210 horsepower and up to 250 miles of range, and a dual motor variant, all-wheel drive, with 290 horsepower and up to 300 miles of range. Pricing is going to start at $35,000 and go up to $55,000. Really do like this design. They kind of carried this into the redesign of the 2025 gas-powered Equinox. But yeah, gorgeous car. Really like the design on this one. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, next we got the 2025 Cadillac Escalade IQ. It's new for 2025. Expect to go on sale sometime during 2024. It is a full-size 3-row SUV. It seats up to 7 passengers. Yep. Full specs have not been revealed yet, though Cadillac is targeting a range of 400 miles and a battery of more than 200 kilowatt hours. We'll have up to 750 horsepower and 785 foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds is what they're claiming. A towing capacity of 8,000 pounds. Got an 800-volt DC fast charge system. Also promising 100 miles of range in about 10 minutes. Pricing will start at around $130,000. Pretty big vehicle. A little bit too big for me, but if you're an Escalade fan, this thing is going to be a monster. All right, let's move on to the next one. Up next, we got the 2024 Kia EV6. It remains unchanged for 2024 because it was a new model in 2022. 4 trims are available: light, wind, GT Line, and GT all-wheel drive. This one that we're looking at right now is the GT Line. His 3 drivetrains are available. with 2 different batteries. So 58 kilowatt hour battery and a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, which produce 167 horsepower and 225 horsepower in the rear wheel drive trims. In all wheel drive dual motor trim, the 77.4 kilowatt hour battery produces 320 horsepower. The GT trim produces 576 horsepower and can go 0 to 60 in just 3.2 seconds. Driving range is going to be varied between 232 miles and 310 miles, depending on your trim and drivetrain configuration. Pricing is going to start at $44,000 and go up to $63,000 for the all-wheel drive GT. I have driven the all-wheel drive GT and it is a beast. Love driving it. Very good driving dynamics and the speed is incredible. One thing is that these seats are beautiful. I love this interior of this car. I really did enjoy driving this car. You got lighting signature going all the way across here, and all the materials in here are really nice. Steering wheel shape is really good. Center console's laid out real well. And you do have some extra storage underneath. Step back to the back seats. You can see how nice and plenty of room back here. This color scheme in this interior is beautiful. And then we'll go back to the hatch. There we go. And there you can see how much space there is back here. It's actually a pretty good amount of space. So again, this is another one that pushes that 310 mile barrier. If that's something you're interested in, you're going to be looking at the lowest trim for that mileage. But I really did enjoy it. I really do like it. And I like the design of this. So let's move on to our next one. This is the 2024 GMC Hummer SUV EV, or EV SUV, whichever way you want to say it. This does have a little bit shorter wheelbase than the truck version. You still have 2 drivetrains that are available, a dual motor setup that produces 625 horsepower and 7,400 foot-pounds of torque, 7,400 pound-feet of torque. Insane. You also have a triple motor setup that produces 830 horsepower with 11,500 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. And GMC estimates a range of around 300 miles on a single charge. Pricing is going to range from $80,000 to $107,000. This thing is really cool. I like it much better than the truck version. I like having that topper on the back. I just think it finishes the truck out, I think. I think the other one just looked unfinished. And I really like this with this silver and black. Just looks big, beefy, strong, and intimidating. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one. Next up, we got the 2024 BMW i4. They did add a new all-wheel drive system called the i4 xDrive 40. We've got 3 drivetrains to be available, single and dual electric motors, offering 281 horsepower, and in the eDrive 35, 335 horsepower in the eDrive 40, and 396 in the xDrive 40. And then you get it, top it off with 536 horsepower in the M50. Driving range varies from 245 miles to 307 miles. And pricing is going to start at $52,000 and go up to $71,000. Really nice interior in here, dual screens. Really do like the way this is set up. Back seat area, you can kind of see some space in between those seats. decent amount anyway. So there is your BMW i4 for 2024. All right, let's go on to the next one. Up next is the 2024 Kia EV9. New for 2024, it is a 3-row SUV. It's about the same size as the Kia Telluride. You can get rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive has 215 horsepower. The all-wheel drive has 379 horsepower. Get a 99.8 kilowatt-hour battery in the long range. It's going to get you about 304 miles. And then the standard range is going to be 76.1 kilowatt-hour battery, and it's going to get you about 230 miles. The towing is going to top out at 5,000 pounds. Standard features on this: heat pump, second row captain's chairs, heated front seats and steering wheel. GT Performance will be coming later in 2025 and should have around 576 horsepower. About 230 kilowatt charging, give you 100 miles in about 13 minutes. Pricing of the base light trim starts at $56,395, and the top GT line all-wheel drive starts at $75,395. So there is another 300-mile SUV, but it's going to cost you. Love the design, looks great. Let's check out the inside. So the inside of this actually looks a lot like the EV6, laid out very similar. Center console's got a couple cup holders. You do have space in the bottom that's open. Go to the back. Has the standard 2-row powered second row. And then you have your third row right back here. So this one will seat 6 in here right as it is. You can get a bench seat for that second row, and that will give you seating for 7. Not a whole lot of space right here behind this third row. I mean, it's a little bit more than some, but of course these are easy to drop. Just pull the straps. Just pull the strap, and maybe it will go down. There we go. And there you have a decent amount of space, probably about 40 cubic feet, I would say, somewhere in that range, maybe 34 to 40. So, looks pretty good. I'm not sure about this blue color, but if it's something that you guys like, this thing is pretty cool. A lot of people like it. One of the best new EV SUVs on the market. All right, let's move on. This is the 2024 Volkswagen ID4. It's relatively unchanged, although it will get a power upgrade. It's also going to get a range increase from 8 to 16 miles, depending on the trim, and it gets a new 12.9-inch infotainment screen. You get 5 trims are offered: Standard, Standard S, Pro, Pro S, and Pro S Plus. One drivetrain will be available with 2 battery sizes. A 58 kilowatt battery delivers 201 horsepower and 263 miles of range, while the 77 kilowatt hour battery will produce 330 horsepower in the all-wheel drive and delivers 291 miles of range. Prices range from $41,000 to $63,000. All right, let's check out the inside. I'm going to note a few differences from the United States one and the German-made ID4. So here in the US, they gave us a center console instead of having the armrest, fold-down armrest on the sides. This, I think, is still the standard screen. I don't think this has the new screen on it, but all of this is pretty much the same as the German branded one. It's just mostly this center console. And then we'll look in the back. You see that it does have a decent amount of room back here. Let's see. Built exactly the same as the earlier 2021 ID4s. You got controls, vent controls in the back, heated seats in the rear on this one with USB-C ports. Do have a pass-through to the back and an armrest. And let's see what we've got for size. And yeah, this is really good size back here. We had an ID4 for a long time and we really did like it. It had all of the space that we needed. And one other cool thing that we get here in the US is we get this light up Volkswagen logo. This is the all-wheel drive Pro S model. Let's move on to the next one. This is the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 5. It was not updated for 2024. So you got three trim levels, the SE, SEL, and the Limited. You have two drivetrains. You got a 58 kilowatt hour battery and a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, which produce 168 horsepower and 225 horsepower in the rear wheel drive trim. Now, if you go to the all wheel drive, you're going to get a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery that produces 320 horsepower. Your driving range is going to be between 220 and 303 miles, depending on the trim and drivetrain configuration. Prices range from $43,000 to $55,000. Now let's take a look at the inside. Door panels got some ambient lighting around the speakers. There's your seats, and this does have the relaxation seats while you are charging. Dual screens on these Hyundais are really, really nice. Really simplistic in here. Back seat. Go in and let you see what the front looks like from the back. Really nice layout. This center console does slide forward and backwards. Decent amount of room here in the back. And trunk. Got the cargo area. And you have a pretty good amount of space there also. I still do like this retro 80s hatchback look. It's really nice, even though it is a crossover size instead of a hatchback size, but we like it. Driving it was pretty good. It's pretty fast, and you can get good mileage out of it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Up next, we've got the 2024 Ford Lightning. Now, it hasn't really changed much, but they did add heat pumps to these F-150s. So they decided they needed to add a heat pump to get better range in the winter. So they added two trims this year, and that is going to be the Platinum Black Edition, which features a matte black wrap for the entire truck, 22-inch black wheels, a black grille, and black badging. Then they also added the Flash trim. The Flash trim includes a 15.5-inch infotainment screen, a large battery pack, and Blue Cruise. It kind of sits right above the XLT, or in that XLT option. Now, it is still only comes in the crew cab with the 5.5 foot bed. There's four trims: the Pro, the XLT, Lariat, and the Platinum. Standard range models produce 452 horsepower and get about 240 miles of range. And the extended range batteries can go up to 320 miles of range. Maximum towing capacity is 8,600 pounds, and price is going to range from $52,000 to $100,000. All right, let's take a look at the inside quickly. Nothing has changed. This is a Lariat trim, so you do have the bigger screen in here. That, you got the shifter. The shifter does fold down in this one. If you press this button right here, it will fold itself down and out of the way, but only in parked position, because then you have your fold out lunch tray, or work surface they call it. All right, so then this one has the cloth seats. It does not have leather seats in it. Now we'll look at the back, show you how much room is back here. Huge amount of room, and there's also storage underneath that flips up, and you have storage there, and then you also have a little bit more storage, and that's all the way up. This color is antimatter blue. It does look black at some angles, but you can see how it's blue up here on the front, but you look down the side of the truck and it looks black. But way to go, Ford, for adding in the heat pumps. It's going to make a huge difference in these trucks. And just so everyone knows, from what we've heard, that the F-150 actually has the best ride out of every electric truck. Although my favorite is a Rivian. All right, let's move on. This is the 2024 Hyundai Kona, completely redesigned inside and out. This electric one right here is going to have a 64.8 kilowatt hour battery, produces 201 horsepower. You get about 260 miles of range. Front wheel drive is standard, but you can get all wheel drive if you prefer that. Pricing is going to start out at 23. That's probably for the gas engines, but we're going to be looking probably around 42 into 52 on this electric one. All right, let's take a quick look at everything inside. So real quick, you can see it does have that dual screen, just like all the other Hyundais now with the Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6. They all have that dual screen. Looks really nice. Still pretty simplistic. Do have some nice little touches in here. Hop in the back. Back seat room, not the greatest, but get you a little bit better look at this new interior, new layout. Hope you guys enjoy that, because I think we really do like this one. Something that we will be considering in the future. It's a good size for us. It's just two of us. I think it'll work out great. On to the next one. Next up was the 2024 Cadillac Lyriq. They add a new base trim model. So now you have three trims available: the Tech, the Luxury, Sport. There's two drivetrains available. 102 kilowatt hour battery, drives a single motor setup that produces 340 horsepower. Or a dual motor setup that produces 500 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. Maximum driving range of 308 miles for the single motor and 307 for the dual motor, which is really good for a dual motor setup. And you get $60,000 up to $65,000, so not a huge difference in price range. This is a greenish blue color. Show the interior, your interior here. This one has the curved dual screens on it, which is nice. You have a crystal gear shifter. A little closer in here. All your climate controls across the bottom. Really nice. We did take a ride in this last year at the show. We were really impressed by it. Good amount of space in the back, and you do have a decent amount back here in the cargo area. So that's your 2024 Cadillac Lyriq. Had a little trouble getting these out to the customers recently. Hopefully they're going to get the battery situation figured out and get these delivered quickly. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we got the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6. It remains unchanged for 2024 because it was an all-new model in 2023. You got four trims offered: SE Standard Range, SE Long Range, SEL, and Limited. You got one drivetrains offered in various power outputs and ranges. You got a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery pack that can provide from 225 horsepower to 320 horsepower, depending on your trim and whether you get rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And with the rear-wheel drive and the smallest wheels, you can get up to 340 miles of range. Pricing starts at $39,000. All right, let's take a look at the inside. Pretty much just like the Ioniq 5. Pretty similar, except for this center console. It's a little bit different, but this dash display is pretty similar. It does have a lot of room in here. Back seats are pretty big, pretty good sized. Come around here, take a look at the back. There, you have a traditional trunk in this one, but as you can see, it's really deep and those seats do fold down. So if you are looking for an electric car and you're worried about range, this is one that you might consider because you can get well over 300 miles of range out of this thing. No range anxiety to worry about. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we've got the 2024 Mustang Mach-E. Now, they did add 2 new trims for 2024, so you have this rally trim right here, and then we're gonna hop right over here, and you have the bronze trim. These are both just above the GT, so you got GT Bronze and GT Rally. Bronze gives you a bronze grille in the front, bronze wheels, and bronze badging. And the bronze is only found in the shadow black, the star white, and this eruption green color, because that's where bronze looks the best. But my favorite, I do think this rally one is my favorite. So you're still going to have 3 drivetrains that are available with horsepowers ranging from 266 on the rear-wheel drive, 346 on the all-wheel drive, and 480 on the GT and performance trim. Driving range is going to be 224 with the smaller battery and up to 312 miles on the extended battery. Pricing is going to range from $45,000 to $75,000. So let's take a look at the interior of this one. So I do like the white wheels on the outside. You've got this white piece on the inside, tying it to the rest of the car. Just everything else is pretty standard in this Mach-E. Go to the back. Good leg room back here. I like the white on the backs of the seats. And there's a look of the front from the rear. It's good. Show you the space back here. There's your trunk. And yeah, real good amount of space back here. We had one of these. We really did like it. We just decided to switch to something else in the meantime. So with this Rally Sport, of course, you get this crazy spoiler back here and the white wheels and then the badging on it. So if you're going to choose one, my choice would be this Rally. I think it's really cool. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. This is the Tesla Model 3. It got a huge redesign, nicknamed Highland, inside and out for 2024. Has 3 trims available: standard, rear wheel drive, long range, all wheel drive, and performance. Several different configurations are available, including a single and dual motor, offering between 272 and 341 miles of range. Rear wheel drive is standard, all wheel drive is optional, and you're going to start prices at $41,000 to $55,000. I do like this redesign. Looks a lot better than the original Model 3, I feel. Look at the interior. A little bit smaller screen than the Cybertruck. Look at the steering wheel. Really simplistic in here. All the buttons and everything are in the screen. Decent amount of room here in the back. And there is the back. Now spells Tesla out on the back side. It's really nice. This is another one that can reach 300 miles or is rated at 300 miles if that is a choice of yours. Some people like Tesla, some people don't. But if you do, this Model 3 is probably the best one to get. So if you're waiting for one, wait to get this redesign. I think it looks 10 times better. All right, see what's up next. This is the 2024 Kia Niro. It remains unchanged for this year because it was redesigned in 2023. The Nero is powered by a single electric motor that produces 201 horsepower and can travel 253 miles on a single charge. Only front-wheel drive in this vehicle, and the price is going to range between $27,000 and $45,000. Now, with this car, the biggest thing that people have pointed out is their dislike for this panel right here. Because it's not body colored, because it's black, I think some of them even come in gray, but if you want it body colored, you actually have to pay extra for that. This blue color is really nice, nice metallic color. Open up the door here, we can get inside. You can see it does have that dual screen, just like all the other Kias and Hyundais. Nice little center console, not overpowering by any means. And all of your buttons right there. Cup holders there, small armrest. That's pretty much it there. Go to the back. Now somebody has slid this seat all the way back, showing not much room, but if you look, there's an average amount of room on the other side. There's another look at the front and how that's set up. These seats are really nice. They are leather and they're perforated. And you do have heated seats in the back of this one. And then let's look at the hatch. How much space is back here? A decent amount, not huge by any means, but it is a smaller car. I think it'll do just fine for a small family. So with the price tag on this one starting at $27,000, this is basically the sister car of the Hyundai Kona. So you have your choice between the two. And I personally prefer the Kona. I think it looks a little bit better, but they did a good job with this redesign last year. So that would be your two options there. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the 2024 Honda Prologue. This is a brand new electric vehicle from Honda, and it is partnered with General Motors. So it's using General Motors Ultium platform with Honda's shell on top. You have three models available, that EX, the Touring, and the Elite. You got one drivetrain is going to be offered, a single motor setup that is front wheel drive, and a dual motor variant that offers all-wheel drive. You get 288 horsepower and around 250 miles of range, up to 320. The price is going to range from $45,000 up to $65,000. So what do you guys think of this design? I kind of like it. I like this bluish teal color. It looks really, really nice. So let's go hop on the inside, see what we got going on. Oh, we are locked on this one. All right, we are locked. We can't really see the inside, but you can see it does have dual screens, climate control underneath there. Got a couple cup holders there in the center. Seats look pretty nice. In the rear, hard to see. I can get an angle. Can't really see the back seat space there, but that's what we got there. The wheels are interesting. So here is another 300-mile EV. It seems to be the target number for all of these cars now. And we'll see how Honda does with this one, because the first Honda that came out, the Honda E, did not go over well. This one has a nice design. I think it's going to do great. All right, let's move on to the next one. Up next, we got the 2024 Lexus RZ. Adds a new front-wheel drive model for 2024 called the RZ 300E. You got four trims are available. The RZ 300E Premium, the RZ 450E Premium, the RZ 300E Luxury, and the RZ 450E Luxury, which is what we are looking at right now. One drivetrain is available, a 65.6 kilowatt hour battery pack that powers two electric motors and produces 201 horsepower in the RZ 300 and 308 horsepower in the rest of the lineup. Range estimates are 220 miles on a full charge. The prices range from $55,000 to $66,000. I have driven one of these, and it is really nice to drive. This model is also the same, just a little nicer than the Toyota BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra. Here's your setup on the inside. It does have this nice screen here in the center. Driver's display is really nice. And then of course you have soft touch materials here. Alcantara on the doors, Alcantara cloth seats on the interior. The center console is really nice, just small. Couple cup holders. Into the back seats, see Alcantara back seats, just like the front. Get your controls there. Then we'll pop the trunk, or pop the hatch, I should say. And this has a lot of room back here. This is really impressive. Really do like this. Anything underneath here, and yes, there is more storage underneath. So excellent. Great car. If you don't mind the lower range on this one, it is very, very nice and well worth the money. So that's your 2024 Lexus RZ 450e Premium. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we have the 2024 Chevy Silverado. Everybody's been expecting this for this year. Gonna have 3 trims. You got the 3WT, the 4WT, and the RST First Edition. Got 1 drivetrain available. A dual motor setup with 4-wheel drive as standard, producing 510 horsepower on the work truck models and up to 754 horsepower and 785 foot-pounds of torque in the RST. Maximum towing capacity is going to be up to 10,000 pounds on the RST trim, as well as 1,300 pounds of payload capacity. DC fast charging up to 350 kilowatts and a 0-60 time less than 4.5 seconds. Pricing is going to start at $75,000 and go up to $108,000. So let's take a look at the inside. First off, look at this frunk up here. Pretty good size, not quite as big as the Ford Lightning, but got a lot of little tie down points in here. Got cup holders sitting up here, and you do have a drain. So I'm guessing you could probably put some ice, little spot of ice and stuff in here. Here is the inside. Looks nice. Big dual screens. Center console, a couple cup holders there. If you pan on back, your armrest, you got a couple more cup holders in the back. In here, look how much room is in here. This is massive. This does have the mid gate also. It is not open right now, but those seats fold down like that, and then that back will fold open, and you can load parts clear up into the cabin. Go back to this tailgate. See the truck bed. There's that mid gate that folds down. That is the RST Chevy Silverado EV. So let's move on to the next one. All right, this is the 2024 Subaru Solterra. This is the sister car to the BZ4X and the cousin of the Lexus RZ line. You get about 220 miles of range. This does have Subaru's all-wheel drive system, which it makes it a little bit better than the 2 other ones. Do have a decent amount of space in the trunk. All right, let's go take a look inside. Okay, so here is the interior, which is basically has that same display as the Toyota BZ4X. So you can either look at it this way if you're tall enough, or you have to raise the steering wheel and try to look in between, but I don't even think you can do that. You'll have to look up here most of the time. You do have a big screen in the center there, and then you come back to this center console right here. It does light up, and then you get 2 cup holders. Seats are nice leather seats. Feel really good. I do like this material right here. It's kind of a clothy material. It's pretty cool. It also is on this side. And we do have a decent amount of room back here. Not real keen on this color scheme on the interior. I don't really care for the blue, but you do have heated seats back here also. And a nice armrest and cup holder. So the pricing on this is going to be similar to the Toyota BZ4X. So you're probably going to be looking at around $45,000 to $60,000 on a top trim. If you're going to choose between the BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra, I would choose the Subaru Solterra. But if you have the extra money, go for the RZ and the Lexus. It's a lot nicer interior and a little step above. All right, let's go on to the next. All right, up next is the 2024 Rolls-Royce Spectra. The first electric car from one of the top luxury firms, beating Bentley and Mercedes-Maybach. There's only one model of the Spectra, but just like most Rolls-Royces, you can order each unit personalized for your taste. So it's basically like a bespoke car. It is going to have a 102 kilowatt hour battery that powers 2 electric motors and produces 577 horsepower. Driving range is estimated at 292 miles, and only all-wheel drives are available. So pricing on this is going to start at a whopping $423,000. I got to keep backing up to try to get this thing all in the frame. It is pretty awesome car. One thing I think is really neat is the doors. They actually open that direction instead of traditional way to get into the car. They do have this lock, so I can't get in there, but you can see looks like a lot of gloss black in there. Piano black. These orange seats are pretty awesome. Kind of goes with the orange striping on the outside. Rear seats, hard to tell, but it looks like there might be a decent amount of space back there. This is a really long car, so I'm guessing that the trunk is very large also. And it looks like it's probably on 24s. Everything is very large on this car. So if you have an extra $423,000 laying around, this might be one you want to use for your Uber black car. Well, it's not black, but Uber black. All right. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, this right here, this is the Ford Lightning switchgear. So this is F-150 Lightning, is a prototype concept. Basically, it's taking a Lightning and letting Ford Performance have a little fun with it. So they kind of turned it into a Lightning Raptor. So this is going to be part of the Demonstrator family, which showcases the capabilities of various Ford electric vehicles, such as the Superman 4.0, Mach-E 1400, and the Mustang Cobra Jet 1800. I've seen the Mustang Mach-E 1400. Crazy, crazy vehicle. And this is pretty awesome to have an electric Raptor. That's what I'm going to call it. So no pricing on this because it is just a concept, but basically it's the same as any other Lightning. You can see that this does have a handbrake. Look at that big handbrake sticking up in there. That's an awesome addition to that. So this is basically a mud runner, Baja runner, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's move on. This is the 2024 Acura ZDX. It is new for this year. It is built in partnership with General Motors. The ZDX will have the Ultium EV platform on it. It is Acura's first electric vehicle. And it's going to have 2 models. So you're going to have an A-Spec and the Type S, which is right here. We are looking at it now, and this is got a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack, powers a single motor, produces 340 horsepower, and a dual motor that produces 500 horsepower. Price is going to range from $60,000 to $70,000. So this gold paint, I'm not so sure about. You guys let me know if you guys like this or not. Let's take a look at the interior. And it is locked, so we can't see the interior. But there, got the screens in there, and down in front of the steering wheel, you've got your driver's display, and it's got a big cover coming over. It's one of the largest covers I've seen coming over that. You have heated and ventilated seats. There is your center console with your cup holders, and you're really not going to be able to see anything much back. Well, you actually see not too bad. So a decent amount of space. You do have climate controls back here. It looks really nice. Let's go around to the back and see what the back looks like. Acura's first EV. So you guys tell me what you guys think about this thing. A lot of people think that this looks like a hearse because of that piece of chrome that goes right through there. Overall, I think the design is pretty nice. I think it'll do well on the market. If you're looking for an EV, this one might be the one you want. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on this tour of all the electric cars at the Chicago Auto Show. Click on one of these videos right over here because that's going to be the next one that you're going to want to watch. YouTube says you're going to like it, so you better click on it, and I will see you in the next one.